Have you ever skipped a party or hangout and then spent the whole night second-guessing it? Everyone else looks like they're out there laughing and connecting, while you're at home feeling two things at once: relief and guilt. You didn't want to go, but now you're wondering, why do social events feel exhausting to me when they seem so easy for everyone else? Maybe people have called you antisocial, even as a joke, and it still hit hard. Maybe you've apologized for missing plans so many times you've lost count. Maybe you've made excuses like, "I'm tired," or "I have work," because the real truth feels too exposed. You don't want to perform. You don't want loud rooms and small talk that goes nowhere. And maybe the hardest part isn't what they say, it's what you say to yourself. What's wrong with me? Why can't I be normal? If that voice has followed you for years, listen closely, because this is the reframe you needed. Here's what nobody told you. Skipping social events doesn't mean you're broken. It can actually be a sign of a rare psychological wiring, one linked to depth, sensitivity, and high self-awareness. What if the thing you've been ashamed of is the same thing that makes you powerful? Psychologist Dr. Elaine Aron found that about 15 to 20% of people have high sensitivity, meaning they process social and sensory input more deeply. In a crowded room, you're not just there. Your brain is tracking tone, micro-expressions, tension, energy shifts, all at once. It's not one conversation, it's a full mental workload. Add introversion, not shyness, but a nervous system that prefers internal over constant external stimulation. Your baseline arousal is already higher, so loud, busy environments push you into overload faster. That's why what feels fun for others can feel draining for you. It's not a character flaw, it's brain wiring. And that wiring is exactly what creates the traits we're about to talk about. Trait number 1, high self-awareness. Not self-awareness in the vague, surface sense. I mean genuine, precise, uncomfortable self-awareness. The kind where you actually know what drains you, what energizes you, what triggers you, and you act on that knowledge, even when it makes other people uncomfortable. Most people go through their entire lives on autopilot, doing what's expected, attending what they're supposed to attend, performing the version of themselves that gets social approval. They've never stopped long enough to ask, what do I actually want? What actually works for me? You have asked those questions, and you've acted on the answers, even when it cost you socially. Think about the last time you declined an invitation. While someone else might have said yes out of guilt or fear of missing out, you said no, because you knew, honestly, that going would cost you more than it gave you. That's not avoidance, that's self-knowledge. And self-knowledge is the foundation of every healthy relationship, every good decision, and every authentic life ever lived. Trait number 2, deep thinking. People who skip social events don't do it because their inner world is empty. They do it because their inner world is full. Your mind generates its own intellectual and emotional engagement without needing constant external input. You think in layers. You process experiences long after they happen. You notice connections between ideas that other people miss entirely. This is called high internal stimulation, and it's genuinely rare. Most people need external noise to drown out internal silence, because sitting alone with their thoughts feels uncomfortable. For you, the internal world is where the most interesting living happens. Ideas, emotions, memories, creativity, all of it runs on a constant, rich stream inside you. You've probably had moments where you were completely alone. No phone, no music, no distraction. And you were completely fine. Not bored, not lonely. Actually, engaged. Maybe thinking through a problem, processing an emotion, or following a thread of thought that went somewhere surprising. That quiet productivity of the mind, that's deep thinking. And it's one of the rarest cognitive traits a person can have. Trait number 3. Selective social energy. You don't avoid people, you avoid performances. There's a significant difference. A performance is when you show up somewhere, put on a version of yourself designed to be acceptable and likable, make small talk that goes nowhere, laugh at things that aren't funny to you, and leave feeling like you spent 3 hours being someone you're not. Real connection is something entirely different. Real connection is when you're with someone who actually knows you, where you can say what you really think, feel what you really feel, and exist without editing yourself. And here's what's true about you. You are incredibly capable of deep, genuine, nourishing connection. You just refuse to settle for the performance version. You probably have one or two people in your life with whom you can talk for hours and feel energized afterward rather than drained. That's because those interactions are real. And your refusal to spend your limited energy on anything less than that? That's not antisocial behavior. That's the highest standard of human connection. Trait number 4, strong emotional boundaries. When you skip a social event, you're not just protecting your time, you're protecting your emotional state. You understand, consciously or not, that social environments are emotionally porous, that you will absorb the moods, tensions, anxieties, and emotional undercurrents of everyone around you. And you've learned that absorbing all of that has a real cost. Most people don't have this awareness. They walk into social environments without any sense of where they end and where other people begin emotionally. They absorb stress and negativity without realizing it, and then wonder why they feel drained afterward. You don't wonder, you already know. And your instinct to protect yourself from that? That's an emotional boundary, a real one, the kind most people spend years in therapy trying to develop. You've probably walked into a room and immediately felt something was off, even before anyone said a word. A tension, a heaviness, an undercurrent of conflict. And instead of ignoring it or pushing through it, you felt it and honored it. That sensitivity is one of the most sophisticated psychological traits a human being can have. Which of these 4 traits do you see most in yourself so far? Drop the number in the comments, 1 through 4, and keep watching because the final 2 traits are the ones that will hit the deepest. Trait number 5, observant and insightful. While everyone else at a social event is busy talking, performing, and being seen, you're watching. You notice the person standing alone at the edge of the room. You notice the couple who smiled too quickly when someone asked how they were doing. You notice the shift in someone's energy when a certain topic comes up. You see things other people walk right past. This observational depth isn't just interesting, it's valuable. It makes you an extraordinary reader of people and situations. It makes you hard to manipulate because you notice inconsistencies. It makes you a better friend because you see what people need before they say it. It makes you a deeper thinker because you're constantly gathering data about human behavior that most people never collect. How many times have you sensed something about a person, a discomfort, an insecurity, a hidden agenda, and been right? How many times have you read a situation accurately before it played out the way you predicted? That's not luck. That's your observational intelligence at work, and it runs deeper and faster in you than in almost anyone around you. Trait number 6, independent mindset. This is the deepest and rarest trait of all. The decision to skip social events, consistently, repeatedly, without caving to guilt or social pressure, requires a level of psychological independence that is genuinely uncommon. It means you are not outsourcing your self-worth to other people's approval. It means you are not measuring your value by how many invitations you accept or how many people know your name. In a world that runs on social validation, on likes, followers, attendance, and visibility, choosing your own inner compass over external approval is an act of quiet, psychological rebellion. And it takes real strength, not the loud, performative kind, the quiet, grounded, unshakable kind. Think about the social pressure you feel every time you decline an invitation, the guilt, the explanations, the apologizing. And then think about the fact that you do it anyway, because some part of you knows your own needs better than the pressure does. That knowing, that refusal to betray yourself for the sake of fitting in, is the rarest trait on this entire list. Now I want to address 3 myths that are so deeply embedded in our culture that most people never question them. Myth 1, skipping social events means you're antisocial. Completely false. Antisocial means no empathy, no desire for genuine connection. That's not you. You're someone whose connection needs are specific, deep, and non-negotiable. You're not avoiding people, you're avoiding performances. Myth 2, extroverts are automatically more successful. Our culture glorifies extroversion, but research tells a different story. Studies consistently show that introverts outperform extroverts in tasks requiring deep focus, creative problem solving, and long-term strategic thinking. Some of the most impactful people in history, from Einstein to Rosa Parks to J.K. Rowling, protected their solitude fiercely, not despite their introversion, because of it. Myth 3, alone time is wasted time. Alone time is where your best thinking happens, where creativity emerges, where you reconnect with who you actually are, beneath the roles and performances of daily life. Your alone time isn't wasted, it's where you are built. I want to give you an image that I hope stays with you. Think of two types of plants. The first is a dandelion, resilient, adaptable, thriving anywhere, growing through cracks in sidewalks, surviving in any soil, common, everywhere. The second is a rare orchid, requiring specific conditions, specific light, specific care. It doesn't grow just anywhere, but when it's in the right environment, it produces something breathtaking, something a dandelion will never produce. Most people are dandelions. They thrive in noise. They adapt to any social environment. But you're the orchid. You don't thrive just anywhere. You thrive in the right conditions: quiet, depth, genuine connection, solitude. And the mistake you've been making, the mistake the world has been encouraging you to make, is trying to grow in dandelion conditions, feeling like a failed dandelion when you're actually a perfectly functioning orchid. Stop trying to grow in the wrong soil. Your conditions are specific. Honor them. So what do you actually do with all of this? 4 things, starting today. First, stop apologizing for your energy. You do not owe anyone an explanation for knowing what you need. "I can't make it" is a complete sentence. The guilt you feel every time you decline is not evidence that you're doing something wrong. It's evidence that you've been conditioned to prioritize other people's comfort over your own well-being. That conditioning ends now. Second, find your niche connection points. You don't need more social events. You need better ones. Small dinners, one-on-one conversations, communities built around shared depth, books, ideas, creative work. You don't thrive in crowds. You thrive in intimacy. Stop looking for your people in places designed for volume and start looking in places designed for depth. Third, use your alone time with intention. Your solitude is a resource. Read deeply, create, reflect, build something. Your alone time is not the absence of productivity. It is the condition under which your best productivity becomes possible. Fourth, practice intentional discomfort. Sometimes, once in a while, show up somewhere that feels slightly outside your comfort zone, not to prove something to anyone else, but to remind your nervous system that you can handle more than it fears. Not every unfamiliar social situation is a threat. Sometimes, the uncomfortable is where something genuinely beautiful finds you. You have spent too long apologizing for the way your mind works, too long forcing yourself into rooms that drain you, performing versions of yourself that don't fit, measuring your worth by social metrics that were never designed for people like you. That ends today. Your way of connecting, deep, selective, intentional, real, is not a lesser version of connection. It is the fullest version of it. You're not missing out on life by staying home. You are experiencing life at a level of depth and meaning that most people will never reach. Your selectivity is your strength. Your solitude is your power. And the world, whether it knows it or not, desperately needs the kind of depth that only people like you can offer. And if nobody has ever told you this, let me be the first. You are not too sensitive. You are not too quiet. You are not too much or too little. You are someone who feels deeply, thinks slowly, and loves carefully, in a world that has forgotten how to do any of those things. That is not your weakness. That is your wholeness. So give yourself permission, today, to stop shrinking, stop apologizing, stop measuring yourself against people who were never built like you, because the quiet you protect is sacred. The solitude you choose is not emptiness. It is where you return to yourself, where the noise fades, and what remains is the truest version of who you are. Come home to yourself, to the stillness, to the depth, to the version of you that exists when nobody is watching and nobody is expecting anything. That version, the unedited, unperforming, quietly powerful version, is not something you need to fix. It is something you need to protect. Guard it, honor it, build your life around it, because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people like you who feel everything and still choose to show up, gently, deeply, and real. You always were enough. You always will be. If this video helped you see yourself differently, subscribe to Unfelt. This channel is for people who feel too much or feel nothing at all. People who think deeper, sense more, and live differently. Drop a comment right now. Which of the 6 traits resonated with you the most? Just the number, 1 through 6. I'll see you in the next one.